Magic.
You say under coven?
No.
Welcome to Under Coven with Sam
and Katie, the spiritual podcast for regular people,
cool people, fun people,
just not boring people.
We hope you love it.
Yeah.
Hi, Boo. Hi.
What's up?
Yo.
How's it going?
Oh, man.
Abby, life, everything?
Yeah, it's good.
You always say that, but is it true? You just didn't have power for like 4 days.
No, I mean, that fucking sucks. But I'm feeling like buzzy after that episode. It was
Oh my God. That was so good. That was so
We'll talk about Tory in a second, but yeah, that really just turned things around for me.
I know, I agree.
Yeah.
That was wild. I know it completely changed my like mood and energy too.
Yes, it did, Sam.
Okay, well, before we get into this,
Yes.
I want to talk to you today about grief, but not in the way you think.
Okay.
So it's like grief and then the overarching grief and then the like concept of friends being your family.
This is so like popcorny and light. We love to just be like,
Yeah, this is super easy and fun
sure.
and nothing deep at all. So this is for, especially for me, I had a therapist once say to me, like, separate from grieving my brother,
Yeah.
I have to grieve this family and this life that I thought I was going to have. And that at times can be even harder. So especially where we live here and we have these kids and thinking about having more kids because I want to create this big family for them because they're not going to have it.
Yeah.
They like, I grew up with a million cousins. I grew up around tons of family that my children are not going to have. And the reason I wanted to even bring it up with you is because your situation is not that different from mine. We've experienced different things, but like your brother doesn't live here.
Yeah.
And your like brother-in-law also passed away.
Yeah.
And then your niece is much older than your children. So it's similar to mine in that we have these very different surroundings. And so for Michael, he's always referenced that like making your friends your family is what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's beautiful and also not real and totally impractical because the reason family is family, because even if you don't get along, they are your blood and they are stuck with you for life where friendships go in and out.
Yeah.
And then the last piece of it is like, I feel like everyone talks about that they want to have a compound.
Yeah.
It's no one actually doing it.
Because that's so when we have like $100 million, sure. Well,
And if we all pool our resources, we can have this compound and then we can create this. Like, because I think the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think a lot of people can relate to this. Yeah, I want what I'm saying. And the way that our society and life has gone is like separating all of us.
Yes.
So like, how do you achieve that? Do you ever have these feelings?
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Almost every day.
Okay.
Well, starting with the grief piece, that is so relatable, even at a micro level. And I think a really good therapist will tell you, like, you can grieve like not getting a job.
Mm-hmm.
You can grieve like that you thought your birthday was going to go a certain way.
Yeah.
Like it's just expectations in your head, right? If that's what you think about
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of grief is, right? That you were expecting your life to go one way and it goes another.
Right.
Of course, there's like levels to that. I'm not trying to say any of that is similar to your brother.
Your birthday going bad and my brother died.
Is the same thing. Totally. No, but I think that's a helpful concept to me in general of like, no, you were expecting something and it didn't go the way you wanted it to. That sucks.
Yeah.
And that's like, right? But I think like letting yourself feel that. And I like the word grief around that because it sounds heavy because the feelings can be really intense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's definitely a part of it. The community thing is like the thing that me and Mike talk about probably the most, just second to like, I don't know, our kids.
Right.
Is how do you create like, I know, because like the dream is to like, I think the closest thing we have in our head to that right now is we want to be the house that everybody comes to, right? And everybody wants that, I guess.
Right.
But like when our kids are growing up, we want like all the
People here, please around them. And, like, chaos and love and fun and joy and like creating all stuff versus like isolation and
Yes.
just this teeny tiny little family knit unit and which is great too, right? Like I want to have a strong family
Of
sense,
course.
just the core of us, and we will.
Yeah.
That I can achieve no matter what, but achieving the other stuff is hard.
And I think there are certain neighborhoods and places where they're really good at this. Like one of my friends just visited a friend in like near the Richmond area, and they have a street where it's like an open door policy and there are kids running around everywhere.
But then what if you're not friends with your neighbors? Like, we have an amazing neighborhood, truly. We have to stay there forever because we don't own the home. But like, there's 10 sets of families with kids that are my kids' age. Like, it is lovely, but there's a reason why we don't hang out with them all the time. Like, they're not our best friend. They're wonderful humans, and they're not the people that we like click with and make all this time for, versus like you and Mike. Yeah, we all end up like, we are each other's people, and yet we never see each other.
I know.
So with our children involved,
We've never hung out, the 8 of us.
Yeah.
Ever. Which is so many people if you think about for the outside 8 people. I know. The reason it's impractical, like, what are you going to do? You're going to buy an acre somewhere and then just move there? And
no, I just don't know how you achieve this, because we have, like, Michael and I have a lot of, we're so popular. No, we have a lot of really like deep, loving, meaningful friendships, and we barely see them, right? Like, we see people once in a while because life has lent itself this way, and it's so busy, and it's not what I want. Now, to your point about the grief, like, she said that to me, it landed. I have quote unquote grieved it, but clearly not really. I haven't accepted that I want to create it.
Well, I think the truth is that it's not too late for us to create if we figure out how to do it.
Right.
And I think, like, in my ideal world, like, yeah, we talk about, like, we're super close to Mike's friends from college and their whole families. They all came to visit last summer, and it was like the most magical weekend. Like,
yeah.
I have not laughed like that since I was like in college. It's a really special relationship. And I think, like, from a practical standpoint, like, you can probably make similar connections to that at this point. And just who the fuck has the time? And you already have these great friends. So
Michael and I talk about life stage friends all the time.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But so I think, like, if you're proposing that we do something like that, yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Will you move separately? Yes. Will you buy a home with me?
I think that idea sounds like beyond incredible, and just having, like, that's when I think about what I want for my life, that's what I want.
Totally. And here's the other kicker. If you're talking about it being hard to achieve, like, I know some of Michael's friends have talked about this at a bachelor party a couple of weekends ago. Like, you don't have that in the major cities.
No.
And that's like, do we want that?
No, I don't.
I want my kids to live near a city for, like, diversity and skill types things. I don't want to live in the middle.
No. And even like airports, or like just access to anything. Like, yeah, that might be the hardest part. So part of it, I think, for right now, like, you have a great neighborhood. I live in a great neighborhood. Like, we have those pockets, but I do think it's worth, like, exploring more. And I'm sure people have done it.
There is are you the person who told me, or was Michael? There's somebody that has, and they, like, will tell you how to achieve it.
I like, cool. Yeah. You should, like, have that person.
I know. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I just think, like, you're right that, like, right now things are fine, but A, you have to be intentional about creating the things that you want, and B, none of this particular topic is not going to happen unless you actually.
We need to manifest it, and we need to, like, do it. Or, like, I think the whole point around, I definitely have not grieved this because I haven't, like, given up on it working out.
So yeah, I think that's the same for me, right? I'm like, I've grieved it to the point that I know their family will never be that way.
Yeah.
Because I have no choice, right? Like, that is that. But I don't believe that I won't create it, but I haven't done anything to this point to do so, right? Like, we've been really transient. We have friends all over the place. Yeah, like, we have to plant roots if we want it to happen, right? We have to, like, commit to staying. And right now, I'm not even committing to staying here because we find reasons why I love it, and it's too expensive,
Yeah.
Which I'll do that forever if I don't just do it.
Yeah. I know. So it is, like, literally getting into, like, an actual plan.
Yeah. And being like, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And I love you to death, and I want you and I to be part of it, but it's more than just us.
I know.
We need, like, and then we both have to buy in on the rest of the families.
That's like trial period, or like that interview process.
I like these ones. You hang out with them for a couple months. You give me some.
Right. Well, and they all have to, like, want to do it too. There's a lot, like,
and the husbands have to be friends, right? Like, there's so many layers to make this the way you.
Well, how big would you want it?
I think it's 4 families is sufficient.
Yeah.
But they all of them having a few kids.
Yeah.
Because right now my thought is, like, the only way I can achieve this for my children is if I have 4 kids, and I'm already tapped out. So
And then, like, would you cook? Or
Totally.
cook? Okay.
If I don't have to do other things, I would happily cook.
I don't want to do any of that.
Can you make enough money to like hire us for other services? Or you can open nice bottles of wine for me.
I can totally do that.
You can like read my children some stories.
Sure.
There are other tasks.
Other tasks,
Not
like
just like
yeah, I like to cook. I do think there should be like roles.
like jobs.
Yes.
Okay, are we becoming sister wives in this scenario?
No, that is where like there can be some weirdness. That's where I want to see like an example. Not like actually, oh my God, no, I am not proposing anything. I like really some weirdness. We can also start swinging. No. I want to like see examples of like how it actually works practically.
Yeah. Like, okay, I think
Step one is like,
I think what you're picturing right now is this like true compound scenario, which sounds dope. What I'm thinking in like life,
always like the same.
we all moved to the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then you have a normal life at the same time.
Fine.
Like, I don't have to be the cook of the whole community. It just feels remote. Oh, let's say you could come over and eat them, you know?
I love how I thought literally that we're like,
You're like,
I was picturing like a big plot of land with like 4 homes on it.
that would be sick.
And a pool in the middle.
Yeah.
And like,
This is the ultimate dream, what you're describing. But also before then, I think we can achieve it.
in a neighborhood.
Then like, let's go to somewhere where there's just land and buy it. Like, that's also going to really be fun.
Do you find a neighborhood with 4 houses for sale next to each other or like a new development?
That part's hard too. I think one leading family has to find the ideal situation, and then slowly the rest trickle in, right? There's this woman I worked with forever ago. I don't talk to her, so I don't know if this is true anymore, but she had moved from Austin. She was in Charleston, and they moved somewhere else, and they eventually wanted to get back to Austin, and they did, and they moved onto the street where all of their friends that left were still doing. So like, somehow it happens.
It does.
Yeah.
And you hear about people growing up like next to their families and all that.
Right.
So it happens.
It's possible.
And you force out the people that you don't want there.
I guess so. And like,
Buy them out.
yeah, right. And like, you can't buy on like super expensive streets,
I know.
or you could just get really rich.
Exactly. I bet, you know,
Super expensive streets.
oh my God. Yeah. Well, speaking of family and not swinging,
Right. To be clear, Michael and I are adamantly not swingers, but we've been approached a couple of times.
have you really?
Oh yeah.
I could see that just from like because you seem like open. Well, Mike and I were approached once.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The first time I was like highly offended.
Oh, that would be flattered.
The second time, well, because you're describing it as like being open. Whenever I'm the other way, I'm like, fuck you, get off my shit.
Oh.
Like, the girl was really hot, and the husband was less hot, so I was offended. But
This was just a girl.
oh, see, that's not swinging. Swinging is swapping.
Yeah.
These people just wanted to like. Be
Well, that's
involved.
clear. This is how much I'm in the world.
I mean, I think okay, someone's gonna be like, Sam, you're 100% wrong. I don't know for sure.
We're probably.
I think that's correct. So we've been approached by couples.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What did they say?
One of them were like neighbors of ours that like we knew, and I went out of town, and they like approached Michael about it.
No way.
Yeah, I was pissed. And then the other one was just like at a bar, and then it's just been like in community settings, like things like that. But
Yeah. I mean, more power to you, but holy shit, that was not.
this is also interesting. I was with friends the other day. We were walking past a house, and my friend was like, "There's flamingos all over there in the yard. That means they're swingers." And I was like, "No, what?" Everybody in the group agreed with me. Or the other one said it's pineapple. Pineapples are upside down pineapples.
I've heard that above.
It leaves just like pineapple.
Also, like that pineapple can also mean hospitality.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, but like you can, what's it called? Flock somebody's yard for like a birthday. That doesn't mean that they're a swinger.
This was like lawn ornaments, like permanent structures. And that's what my friend was saying. And I was like, oh, yeah, it wasn't just like
Well,
random.
how does she know?
She's single. Oh, no. Okay, now we're off the rails. Jesus Christ. So this episode is really fantastic.
It's very family friendly.
Yeah, it's nothing about any of the things that we just said.
Oh my God. No, so my friend Tori is this incredible. She's like an astrologer. She's an intuitive. She reads tarot. She does Reiki. She does all of these modalities. And like, I don't think that we've ever had like so much like knowledge packed into something.
It's really amazing. And just like groundbreaking for both of us.
Yeah.
It was
Some tears.
some tears. So just really She's good. She's really good. She knows her shit. If for me, that was so on for astrology. Like I'm like, now I feel like I need to dive down that rabbit hole from family practical standpoint, because she reads charts for children and how to help with parenting, but also for individuals, for couples. Like there's just so much there to use in your daily life that can really help you.
And it's practical.
And she makes it really digestible and relatable. This is like way too complicated, which astrology can be. So
yeah,
a really good one.
Yay, exciting. Enjoy. Yay. Well, I personally am so excited about today's guest.
Yeah.
Tory oh my God.
Sjovall.
We literally just did this 12 times. I'm so sorry. That's so bad. But no, I am so excited for you to be here and to be chatting with us today. Tory and I, for a lot of reasons, but we've now known each other for over 3 years, which is wild.
Longer than I've known.
Crazy. So we took a tarot class together. It was so amazing. And like instantly when I met Tory, I just felt like she was so special. And like, you're just so great at being relatable while also like making everything approachable. But obviously you clearly just have this gift. And you're so intuitive, and it's like, I'm so excited. And, you also like are an expert in astrology, which is something that we, literally know nothing about. Like, I feel like I'm such a newbie with it. So curious about it.
I also quickly want to pause and recognize that like you guys took an online tarot course together and became friends. I feel like that doesn't always happen. And for people seeking this kind of community, looking for things like that and knowing like we're in different parts of the world, but you guys have kept this connection. I think it's really, really cool.
I just book with her like constantly.
Yeah.
I was actually just talking to my husband today because I was telling him about how I'm coming on to record with you guys. And he's like, who is this? I'm like, oh, you don't know about all of my internet community friends? Like, what do you mean?
I don't know my magical website web traffic friends.
So many internet friends that I've met in these like amazing communities in the most unexpected ways. But we clicked because we were pregnant at the same time with our sons. And we were like, oh.
Which is wild. So amazing. So awesome. And now you have these really cool offerings that we're going to get all into that. But I want to start with like your background, because you had like this corporate job in the city right before you got into all of this. Can you talk about like that transition and like, because I think it's so relatable that people are, you know, in these corporate situations and maybe they have like little intuitive things, but you like took the leap, right? And you dove into this work full time. Tell us about that story.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have chills. It's like one of my favorite stories because I feel like it was such a dream. And it was like, will this ever come true? You know, you're in that moment, you're like grinding. So I worked in New York City and I was a buyer for a really big off-price retail store. So I bought jewelry. That was the last thing I bought for like almost 6 years, but I was at the company almost 10. And it was such a beautiful thing for my 20s. Like I grew so much. I learned so much. I traveled all the time. I made amazing connections. I made great money. But as I like got into my late 20s and I started settling down and I was like, I really want to start a family. And I was really into kind of like holistic health / spirituality. That's kind of how this all started for me.
I feel like that's the gateway for everyone. It's my thing too, right? It's like where you start and then you're like, oh, there's a whole world behind that curtain.
Like you're like playing with crystals one day and then all of a sudden you're quitting your job and you're like, I'm a witch. So that's me. So it was amazing because it served me so well at the time. And I was like doing this on the side. So I feel like yoga and literally like going to like an event where they like had a crystal as a freebie. That was like my gateway into all of this stuff. But I was always an astrology girly on the side. Like I feel like reading the magazines and what junior high, like I was always looking at my horoscope. So like I was always curious about it, but I was like how you guys are saying, like, I know about it, but what the hell is this? I'm not really sure. So I ended up being, you know, a traditional corporate burnout. I was so exhausted. I was traveling all the time. I was going to work from 8:30 to 5:30, hitting up every happy hour that you could ever find in New York City. And I was just like exhausted. And I felt like something was missing. So that's why I started searching. And then what accelerated my spiritual path was I found Reiki. So
Oh my God, you guys are, I didn't know that's similar.
Yeah, we're the same. We are the same. Hi.
We're the same person. Cool.
We're the same. Love you. Best friends.
Yes, I love that. So my twin sister actually went to get a Reiki session, and she was like, "You should try this." Like, I felt really good after. So I went to try a session, and my Reiki practitioner that I went to actually ended up becoming my teacher. And when I left, I immediately was like, I will be doing that one day. Like, I just knew. Some things just click. And I feel like there are very few things in my life that are very clear to me. And that moment, I was like, this will be me. And then like less than a year later, that was me. So I did a couple more sessions with her. And then she sent out, I'll never forget, I was on the subway and I had no service. And she sent out an email being like, I thought of a couple clients and you were on the list. I'm doing like a Reiki 1 class or whatever it is. And I got it when I got service. And I was like, this is so weird. I was just thinking about how I would love to learn this one day. So I signed up. I did Reiki 1, eventually did Reiki 2, and then became a Reiki master actually when I was pregnant with my daughter in 2019. So that was like a real moment for me where I started putting together my intuition and how to actually access that, because I was walking around just so disassociated. And it was like such a light bulb moment for me where I was like, oh, like I remember what she said to me my first session. She was like, all of your energy is here. And I can tell you're so intuitive, but until you bring it into your physical body, you will never be able to make that connection. And that was like, I'll never forget that forever. That changed everything for me. And it's a huge part of my teachings now. And with anyone that I work with is like grounding and getting into your actual physical body. And that's why I love what you guys are doing here, because you're making spirituality and woo-woo accessible and attainable. And I really believe, like, first and foremost, we're meant to be humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
I struggle with that too. So I love that. That's like right now it's like a reminder for me. I'm like, oh, so many people told me I'm intuitive, but it's probably because I don't ever pull it down that I like kind of block it. But wait, I have a question totally unrelated to astrology with what you just said, because I think it's really cool. That you became a master when you were pregnant. Like, what was that experience different? Did it make you be able to connect with your daughter more? Was there any, like, what was, because you're, growing a soul and a life inside of you, did it have a different effects than the others?
I wish I could be like, yes, totally. It brought me so down.
But I love that you're being honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, totally. I wish that I could be like, it was a magical experience. And I was talking to no, I wasn't there yet. I was still so new to all of this. And I think in my next pregnancy with my son, I definitely was more able to connect intuitively. But in that moment, I was like, she's getting Reiki. This is great. But it definitely wasn't, it wasn't this like mind-blowing thing.
Okay. I love that.
I actually appreciate that answer, because I think that's
totally
a myth too, that like, I don't know, then you become enlightened and then you can not that, of course, and you get more in touch or whatever, but it doesn't have to be this like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Transcending.
I was curious. Totally. And I appreciate that answer too, because it makes everyone who feels like they're not connected, like, well, guess what? This person who also has made a job out of it and is very intuitive, didn't feel as connected. So I think it's
exactly
perfectly relatable. But while I was pregnant, I wouldn't have connected at all, but I had like this one therapist I was working with like made me check in with the babies, and then another, like a handful of experiences. And I got different energies and different things from each of them, but I kept telling myself I was making it up. And that's exactly how they are. So I wasn't.
Wow.
But I was like, there was like things that I was picking up from each of them and just thought I was making it up in my head, But like, you're not, right? You tell yourself that you are, but you're not. You don't like have these random thoughts for no reason. So that's why I asked you.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like that's 99% of connecting to your intuition is just actually believing it's real and not like telling yourself you're making stuff up. Because I still question. I'm like, what is that? Anyways, I feel like I've gone on a million tangents, but Reiki opened me up.
Perfect.
I started seeing Reiki clients, and then I was using oracle cards in my sessions. And then eventually I was like, I would love to learn tarot, but I was so intimidated by it. I'm like, 78 meanings. Like, this is crazy. I don't know. But I now do tarot like professionally after learning it a couple years after I started seeing Reiki clients. And the same thing with tarot is how I approach energy work and how I approach astrology is that it's just not that serious. We don't have to know every single little thing. Do I know the meanings of all the cards? Yes. Can I recite them off like a guidebook? Absolutely not. But I feel like the most important thing is like trusting that you are getting what you need to get from the tool that you're using. So that's how I feel about tarot and astrology.
Well, I love that too, because I think with tarot, I love like the structure of it that like really resonates with me. But you can pull a card and like in a different setting, it can mean something different, right? And that's where like your intuition comes in. Like different cards paired with other cards can mean different things. So there's playtime in that structure for me. Yeah, I love that so much.
Yes. And I love how you're saying that. I'm actually creating a workshop right now that is a tarot workshop, but nobody is allowed to like look at a guidebook or even, it's literally just using the imagery and your intuition.
I would have loved to have started there.
Yeah.
Because for me, that was the block. I mean, I love it. It's Reiki's more my thing, more energy, whatever. But I do love tarot because I loved oracle cards to start. There's so many parallels and all things you just said. But it like wasn't clicking. And I was like, I'm going to have to study this and remember it. And all of that is sort of what stopped me from taking it any further, because I was like, there's just so much, like all the things you just said. And I felt like I needed to retain all of it in order to do it. But I did the same thing with Reiki. I was like, I cannot practice this until I reach all of these levels. And here I am still not like actively practicing it. And I've done all the training. So that's just a me thing. But anyway, I think that's great. And it opens it up and makes it feel more accessible for anyone who wants to like dip their toes into this water. So then how astrology? Like where did you take it then from there?
Yeah. So I started taking, this is like around the same time. I was working full time, and then nights and weekends I was just doing weird shit. So I was taking silversmithing classes. I was off the rails.
What is that?
Like making your own jewelry.
Oh, cool. Do you do that too?
I don't do that. That was the hardest thing I've literally ever done in my life. Like, it was crazy. But I also was taking professional astrology classes and learning how to read charts. And I was just doing it for fun. Like, when I was on a work trip, I'd be reading all my coworkers, and they were all so great and supportive. But it really clicked for me when I had my daughter, because I use it when I'm looking at her and I'm parenting her. So she has a Virgo moon, which we have some energy. I've pulled all of your charts and your families, so we can get into that later. But she has a Virgo moon, and I have next to no Virgo energy in my chart. And it was very, very difficult for me to have a routine. Like, I'm a type B mom. I was like feeding her whenever, putting her to sleep whenever, nap schedule, whatever, who cares? And she did not thrive with that approach. So a couple months into parenting, I was like, wait a second. And I re-pulled her chart, and I was like, we're going to just parent her as her moon sign. And it changed everything, which is why I do what I do.
Wow, that is wild. So why her moon? Why not her sun or her rising? Like, what made you decide? Because it felt like she needed structure, like as you just leaned into the moon part?
Yes. So moon is maybe the most important thing next to your sun. Not maybe, it is the most important thing next to your sun. And it is the most important thing to know about a child, because the moon it's your emotions and it's your inner world. And children don't have this shell that we have. Like, it is said that children present as their moon sign for years before they even come into any of these other energies.
Tori, this is fascinating.
That I just feel like that's like a
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I know. And
I'm a little bit like shell shocked. Like I have so many things now to ask you next, but I don't even know.
I know.
How to. Wow.
That's wild.
So then for adults, like, you're putting all the masks you're putting on are the other things, but in reality, shouldn't we too be leaning into our moons because we're kind of then hiding them and not getting in touch?
So I wouldn't even call it masks, because this is the thing about humans and all of us, is we're extremely multifaceted. So all of these things are real parts of ourselves. They just play different roles. But especially as women, knowing your moon sign is really important. And especially if you're connecting with your intuition, you want to get more in touch with your inner world. Like, it is really, really important to know your moon sign. So I'm a Taurus sun. I've always resonated with Taurus, but I'm a Cancer moon, and anything Cancer, I'm like, yep, that's me, like, to a T.
Wow. Again, I'm like, you're blowing my mind, because I'm a Pisces sun and a Cancer rising, and I am water and emotion and magic and mystic and all the things that relate to those signs. But I'm an Aries moon, which is like very headstrong and like that energy, which I can be, but like my kids are Aries, my dad and my brother were Aries, like that, the sons, all of them. And that for what I don't know, I've never tapped in so much to that because I'm like, oh, that's really, really like the strong, fiery side of me that I only show sometimes, but the rest of it resonates so much more. And clearly, I'm just like, I'm not tapping into where I need to. This is fascinating.
It really is. Okay, before we I'm worried that we're going to get right into, I want to not ask you. Yeah, we're not doing charts yet. Yes. So how now, so since you learned all this, you worked with it with your daughter, I'm sure with your son now, how do you use it in your daily life as you're going about, do you check your horoscope in the morning? For you personally, what does that look like now?
Yes. So full transparency. I always say to everyone who asks me, is Mercury in retrograde? Is this, that? I'm like, guys, I do not have the brain capacity to know all of the transits. That's what I say. I'm like, my 10-year goal is to find the space in my brain again to understand daily transits, to know exactly what phase the moon is, to know exactly what's retrograding. But truthfully, I don't. I use astrology in a very practical way, and I use it in relationships. That's really my thing. It's my specialty, and it's what I'm really interested in. So for me, the way that I use it, rather than checking what's going on in the sky every minute, is knowing my loved ones' planets and how they interact with mine. So I can give you a real-time example. I just dropped my son off for camp. It's his first time away from me today. And Mars is the planet of action. And it's how I've actually learned it. I can give you guys all the information about who I learned from astrology, but I learned that Mars is if you were pushed up against a wall at a bar, your Mars is how you would respond. And my son is a Pisces Mars, which means he's extremely sensitive and emotional. So having that in my back pocket, knowing we're going through a massive transition, was so helpful for me because I'm dropping him off and I'm like, you're being so brave, but he's like, no, I'm not. His little Pisces Mars is like, why are you doing this to me? He almost feels offended by, you know what I mean? He's so highly sensitive. Pisces is the most sensitive sign that there is. So it's just so helpful for me in those moments to be able to keep in check. Whereas my daughter has an Earth Mars, and we can talk about elements too. We can even dumb it down beyond signs into elements because I do think that's an easy way to get started. My daughter's an Earth Mars. She's a lot more rooted in transitions. So with both of them, I'm like, okay, we're going to focus more on his emotions today, and I'm going to lean on her for grounding, and he can lean on her for grounding. So it's more about how I'm working with the energy of what they were born with in their charts rather than what's happening in the sky today.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
And so practically when you're doing that and you're realizing oh, his action is more sensitive and he's like, no, I'm not, what did you then do? How did it change your next step when you realized that?
Yeah. So I feel like I'm just more sensitive in my response to him. I'm always leading with emotion when it comes to him. Whereas my daughter she's Earth heavy. She has Earth Sun, Earth Mars, Earth Mercury. So I think she needs me more as a grounding force. I'm like, you're going to be all right, babe. It's more about how do I ground her into the moment? And with him, I'm like, he just wants the sympathy and to feel understood. So it's different approaches based on basically the elements of these important planets in their chart.
Wow. And transitions can be really hard. So do you feel like most of the time they go pretty smoothly because you're using this?
As smoothly as they can. My kids are still so little. I think as a parent, it really just helps me feel less frantic. I know that that's the way he expresses. Whereas if I didn't have the tool of knowing he's highly sensitive, he's gonna be, it doesn't matter how much I prep him, how much I tell him, how much we talked about it, he's still gonna cry. And I can walk away from that situation being I couldn't have done anything differently. I did my best to support him based on what I know his energy is. So I think it really gives me a sense of comfort knowing that this is just the way he expresses and that's okay.
Well, that's amazing.
I love this.
Yeah.
So first, I do want to talk about what your offerings actually are, and then can we maybe go into the 101 of all the elements and stuff?
Yeah,
I love that. Okay,
idea.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, so tell us about this is so unique, what you offer for families, right? Yeah.
I told you guys I started because I did this with my daughter, and now I do it for my son. I do it with my husband. And I started with mommy and me. So I was like, all right, you give me your information, your kids' information, and we can do all of that. And what I realized is everyone was like, I need my partner to be part of this. And every partner that I've included, you know, most of them are like, I don't know, sure, I'll join the Zoom call. And all of them are like, wait, whoa. Like, it's like the first time they feel seen. And I've noticed it's been amazing for relationships and marriages too, because you're seeing each other in a different light. So I kind of do this like DIY family reading where you kind of choose your own adventure. You can do mommy and me, you can do just siblings, but my most popular one is full family. So you give me everyone's information in your family, your birthday, where you were born, and the time of birth. And I give you a breakdown of your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, and also your Mercury, which we can totally get into because I feel like that's a secret key to parenting alongside the moon.
Wow. Okay.
So I give like nothing. This is my biggest thing. And I feel like you guys have gotten this. I've said it a million times. But my biggest thing is making this understandable and practical and usable. So I'm not giving you pages and pages and pages of information. Every sign gets like a little paragraph per each person. And then at the end, you do get a full page of how your family's energy interacts together. And people can ask like, okay, I'm having trouble with this with my son, or I'm having trouble with communication with my husband, or whatever it is. And you can make those notes to me even before we start. And I can look at which planets I think can give you information to help with challenges too.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. I looked at your website before all of this, and I saw that you have all these different offerings, and I'm like, I want the whole shebang. Like, I get my dog's chart in there. Like, I need to know everybody's situation and how all of this goes together. I think it's so cool.
Okay, so let's or do like we should get into like the 101 of it all, right?
Yeah, I think break it down. So I like break it down in the easiest way that you just said, because I feel like charts. This is a similar experience for me with the tarot. Like when I've had any readings or I look at a chart, I'm like, what? Like this
so intense.
So intense. There's so many lines. There's so many pictures. There's so many this. There's like this whole circle. Yeah, all of this that I'm like, this is so complicated. I'll never be able to figure it out. And then you're kind of someone who's just like, and this, like they're reading it so simply. So it feels like it's another language. So if someone's coming to you new from an astrology perspective, like what is it that you should know? How are you reading it? Or like, what's the easiest way for someone to like get an intro into their chart and then take practical?
Like basic as fuck, right?
Like usually when I do readings, I'm not even showing you the wheel. Like you don't need to see that. It's unnecessary. But the thing is, if somebody wants to go and pull their chart, you're going to have to know what to look at. So there's like a couple things I would say. First, I can just show you guys really quickly because I have them printed out. But if, say, somebody goes to astro.com and they pull their chart, the first thing I want you to do is look at elements. And there's this little baby chart down here. I don't know if you can see right here where there's some red, there's some green, there's some yellow, and there's some blue. That's the elements. So the first thing I'm looking at for every single person is how much red, fire, how much yellow, air, how much green, earth, and how much blue, water do they have in their chart, because that's going to give me a lot of information about them. So elements are the first place I would start if you're figuring out astrology at all. Say if you know you're a Pisces sun, you're a water element, or you're a Pisces moon, you're a water moon. Like your big three, you can kind of switch in between. I feel like this is even getting way in the weeds, but it feels in the weeds. But when you look at it and you can use it for yourself or your relationships, like for me, if you know you have an Aries kid, an Aries moon kid, say, you know that they have a fiery, emotional personality. So I like to talk about elements because they all move at different speeds. And if you've ever studied anything within like the woo sphere, you probably understand that fire moves faster than water, or air moves faster than earth. So earth is the slowest moving, fire is the fastest moving. Even if that's all you know, I have an Aries kid and they move quicker than my Taurus kid. That's an earth sign. And maybe I have more patience with the Taurus kid, and maybe I understand that my Aries kid moves through information and needs like patience with processing, or maybe just needs help making decisions rather than my earth sign kid that's going to overthink about everything. So I would start with elements, and then I would start, everybody knows their sun sign. I would move on to your moon sign, like I told you guys.
Okay. And so you talked about how fast each one moves. Do you associate them like Earth is grounding. Water is emotions. Air I think of though as like head in the clouds, which is I don't love. Like
Air is
what is
clever.
better?
That's what
Clever.
Smart.
Okay.
They love talking, communication. They're the communicators. Yeah.
Communication. That's like the tarot too.
and then fire, because if we're calling water emotions, then fire is strength.
Fire is impulse. It is passion. It is intensity. It's excitement. Like there's shadow and there's light in each one, but all of them are present.
Got it. Very cool. Okay, wait. And then all the way back, like let's go before we even get our chart. Astrology itself is basically saying that the day you were born, the map of the sky dictates everything about who you are. True? How do you feel about that?
It's like I would say it's a blueprint. I believe so much in free will. And this is why I think twins are fascinating. And we can talk about that.
I can't wait to get into it. I have so many twin questions because you are one, which is cool.
Yeah. And I'm still figuring it out because I do feel like we embody different parts of our chart at different times. So when you're born, it's a snapshot of exactly where the planets, the stars, the constellations, all these like celestial bodies were from like where you're looking up from the hospital or wherever you were born. That's what it is. I like to use it as information. And I like to be very specific about that because astrology, like any other divination tool, can inspire fear too. Like I've had people say like, oh, I've heard that this aspect is bad and my kid has this placement. And I'm like, this is at least not why I'm here. I'm not here to talk about the potential scary things like, oh, if I have this in this house, does that mean I'll have a bad relationship with my child? Like you could find all of this information out there. But I do feel like we play such a role in how we embody our charts. We play such a role in helping our children embody their charts. So we have to be mindful how we use this information.
Yeah. So using it like a guide.
Yeah.
Like information.
Do you
like this?
Do you prefer to work like? How do you feel about skeptics in general? Like, do you prefer to work with people that are like so into it, or like, do you like convincing them that like, no, like,
Well, it sounds like especially with the spouses.
Yeah.
That's what you said, that they come in and they're like, and they're like, wait a second, this is amazing.
I have to say, I can't stand trying to convince someone. I think it's the most waste of my time. And I think I have such a strong opinion about that because when I first started, I wanted to convince everybody. And now I realize it's just not my time or place. Like it does. If you don't believe in it, that's cool. And the cool part is even the skeptic partners that show up, they wouldn't show up if they really wanted to like burn me down, Like they show up with this like, I'll just be quiet, but they're not being sassy about it, Like I'm cool with that kind of skeptic. I don't want someone that's going to come on a Zoom call and be like, I don't believe in any of this. I'll be like, then why are we here?
Why are you paying me? You're like, I'll take your latte. Bye.
Right. If you're going to show up and be like, I have no idea what's going on, but I am curious. Perfect. That's exactly who I want to talk to.
Interesting.
I think that's so fair. I think that's kind of our thing too, is like, if this works for you, awesome.
Right.
If it doesn't work for you, fine.
Exactly.
Like, totally.
Exactly. Like I'm not, but to your point, it's a waste of time to convince people, but also like, cause not everything, not for everybody. Same thing with diets, same thing with everything. It's like not everything out there is for every person. So
but like, just check it out and tell me like after.
Yeah, totally.
Right. Like I started with Reiki and I was so all in on Reiki. That was 100% of my business and my practice. And now it's like 10. And it's like, so we dip in and out of interest.
Totally.
And it makes sense. Like somebody's all in on Reiki for the rest of their life. Good for them. But right now I'm dabbling in astrology,
Yeah. So cool. I just also love that. Like the fact that you are empowered to go with this flow and change that. And I feel like because I would love to do this too. And I never am jumping in. And I just think it's really cool to be like, A, it's possible. Yeah. And B, you can change your mind as things show up for you. So I love that. Really, really cool.
I want to get into a couple more myths before we ask you to read. For us, so we talked about like Mercury retrograde.
Well, for it, is that a thing? People love to like reference it and talk about the thing I know most about it is like your technology decides to fail. Like, are those real things? Like, are these astrological meetings that we place out there? Like, are they things that people really lean into, or is it just like a shtick that's out there right now?
Oh no, it is definitely real. And My problem with it is just the clickbait of it all. Like, I feel like everything has gone from like Mercury's retrograding a lot. Like, it's not
Seems
something
like every other day.
So it shouldn't be something that we're panicking about. And it also, my biggest thing is it shouldn't be something we're blaming our actions or our situations on. I don't know if you guys, there's like a meme where the moon is like making a weird face and it's like, there they are blaming me for everything again. And I'm like, that is how I feel. I'm like, we can use this as information, but when we use it as like excuses, that's when it gets a little sketchy for me. And when we're using it as clickbait, it gets a little weird. Mercury retrograde, yeah, the planet of communication and technology it's not even actually moving backward. It just kind of looks like it's moving backward in the sky. But yeah, like, I don't know. People say like, don't get married that day, don't sign big contracts. But if you have really thought about these things before Mercury went into retrograde, I wouldn't be worried about it. If you're like walking into a random place and signing a massive contract on a whim, yeah, maybe we don't do that anyway, Mercury retrograde or not.
Right. Like, bad idea. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. I know everybody has their own opinions. I just, like I said to you guys before, there's just only so much brain space I have. And when we're using it for that type of stuff, I'm like, why are we just using astrology for fear? It should be empowering, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, next myth. How do you like make people like feel, like there's certain placements that are like, okay, like I'm a Capricorn. Like I love that parts of that, but how do you like not feel trapped with those like labels that can get associated with different signs of like, you know what I mean? Like a myth that like, oh, a Capricorn is like
I see what it means.
Right. And this is who you are. Like, this is your sign, your sun sign. So this is you, right?
Yeah. I feel like that's why it's really cool to understand that there are other elements of your chart. So like for you, Katie, you're a Capricorn sun, but you're also a Capricorn moon. So you, of course, have an interesting relationship with Capricorn, and we can get into that. But you also have a different sign for your rising sign. It also matters, and this is more in the weeds than not, but it also matters what house your sun sign is in. So each house has like a different flavor. It's almost like if your sun sign is an ice cream cone and you dip it into like chocolate or cherry syrup, like each syrup is a different house. It flavors your sign a little bit differently.
Okay, interesting.
So even if you feel like, oh, I am this archetype, I feel trapped in this, it's like there's also beautiful parts of every sign. Like, yes, Capricorn is known as like the boss babe. Like, we can't stop achieving. Well, yeah.
She is that is Kate. That is her. Maybe she has a complicated relationship with the sign, but it is who she is. So she's like, Sam, we're going to this meeting at this time. Can we squeeze in this extra like in between to make it the most productive? I'm like, physically, it's impossible, Katie, but sure. Let's do 27 things that day. Absolutely.
I just feel like that's why it's nice to be like, okay. But then, like, I'm going to tell you guys your Mercury signs later. And, like, your Mercury sign is so different than Capricorn. And that's how your mind works. And that's how you communicate. And that's how you think. So there's just so many elements.
Okay.
This is fascinating.
It is. Okay. So what else? Okay. So I think the only other thing I really want to debug here, or like getting back to the 101, is like someone is looking at like you talked about like the teen magazine. Somebody wants to like look up their horoscope for the day. Should they be looking like,
or what is a horoscope even?
Yeah,
that actually relate to this? Like, why is that such a thing?
Right.
That's something people should actually use, because it always seems so like big and silly. Like I haven't read
relate or not.
Yeah, I said I used to when I was younger, and they're just like, is that a real thing? Is that something people should use?
So horoscopes, the way that it works is that it's so generalized, and a lot of why people say use your rising sign when you're looking at horoscopes, which, by the way, I didn't learn until like when I first started studying astrology, maybe even a couple of years after, because your rising sign is always in the first house, so it's always at a certain place on your chart. So when you're using the rising sign, you kind of have an idea where everything else falls in the chart. That's just like a very easy way to put it. Whereas if you're just talking about a Leo horoscope, it could be Leo in the first house, Leo in the 10th house, Leo in the 7th house. So all of them are going to be experiencing different transits in the sky. So it might be...
they're not a real thing then.
They're just extremely generalized. So they're probably using so much of what is going on in the sky, but you're never going to get a real personalized picture about what's actually happening in your chart from a horoscope. Unless you can look, I would look at the rising sign if you're going to look at horoscopes.
Cool. Yeah, I never knew that either, but that's really cool.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Interesting.
That's nice.
Yeah, I didn't know that until recently. I was like, I didn't know I should be looking at Leo, like, until I started.
I have never once read a Cancer horoscope in my life, but clearly that should be the one. Yeah, should be reading. Yours is the same, so you were getting it right regardless.
Yeah.
Let's do charts.
Yeah, let's do charts if that's okay.
Yeah, okay. So I have Sam's first. You ready?
Perfect. I'm ready. I'm so ready.
So you know, but I'll just say it for everybody listening. You're a Pisces sun, Aries moon, Cancer rising, and then you are an Aquarius Mercury. So I don't know if you guys know about Mercury, but it's the planet of communication, like we were just talking about Mercury retrograde. It's how we think. And I like to say it's like how we filter the world through our mind. It's how we communicate. And actually, I wanted to call this out for both of you guys since you're working together. Both of you have Aquarius Mercuries, which,
ooh,
yes,
is that a good thing?
I feel like it makes so much sense with what you're doing and like this message that you're going after, because Aquarius is a free thinker and they're the ones doing things differently and they're using technology and they're kind of like
that's so cool.
Ahead of the game. Yeah, so it makes so much sense to me that like this whole premise that you guys are working with of like we want to take this woo-woo stuff and make it accessible, and that kind of speaks to all of your charts in general, but the Aquarius Mercury is your meeting of your minds, and I loved that.
That's so cool, because I was like, I only know like both of our sun, moon, risings, and we're, I think, opposite, so this is cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I was like, there's something in the charts that's got to be like matched up, and that was it, and that's a really big one, especially with what you're doing. You're communicating from your Aquarian side, so it was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yes. Okay, so I just wrote some stuff and you can ask me some questions. I said immediately when I see your chart, I feel like your gift is feeling, which I'm sure is no surprise to you. Water, sun, and rising with an Aries moon. So I know Aries is fire, but I have to tell you, Aries moons are secretly highly sensitive. I think it might be like one of the most sensitive placements because you feel so intensely. Like Aries will burn shit down for things that they love, for people they love. And when it's your emotions, I feel like you can probably go 0 to 100 with your emotions. It's like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. And then somebody does something that's either really good or not so good. And you're like, no, that's my breaking point.
That is 100% accurate. Like I'm like the sensitive, kindest, like whatever. But if you piss me off or do something wrong to somebody I love, that's probably it. Like that was the, and I always relate that to being from New Jersey, but clear going else of that, it is not so much the case. But wow, that's really amazing. It's interesting with the emotions part too, because when you like, I do relate to so much about the Pisces side of things and the sensitivity and the whimsicalness and the magic, like all those parts of Pisces, and Cancer is similar, like happy and whatever kind, like all of those things. But I keep my emotions at a distance. But the way you're describing it makes more sense. It's like, I'm not like always in touch with them. But then when I feel like I was fucking watching Cars with my kids, and there's certain scenes that I'm crying, or even I was even trying to tell my husband about the scene and speaking it. I couldn't get it out without crying because I'm like, Lightning McQueen, he drags the guy across the finish line. I'm like, hey, crying. So like, yes, I feel very deeply. But then sometimes I'm like, I don't feel at all. There's like these two sides.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I feel like with Aries, it's a very personal sign. It's the first sign in the zodiac. So it can feel like, I don't know if you take things personally, or if like maybe in the past like in the past or something personally, you're trying to move forward from it.
Chill, and it's not.
I want to say no. I want to say no, but I love that she's here, because there was like one time she wasn't answering my text with like, she hates me. It's over. She hates me.
Yes, I know.
So I guess I do. Okay.
And it's really not, yes.
Yes, I feel like that's also the combination of your big three too. Like you have 2 water signs with Aries, you're taking shit personally sometimes, and that's okay, as long as you're aware. I love that. There's also something I wrote for you too. I don't know how you feel about this, but I said you're an advocate for others. Like you are so deeply feeling. I said you're maybe an unexpected one to speak up, but you'll always fight for what you believe in. Like it's this energy of like, I'm this until I'm not, and I will like burn shit down for the people I love. That was like what really stood out to me in your chart.
That's definitely true, because I don't advocate for the people I love 1,000 times before I'd advocate for myself. But it's true. It's like it's never there until it's there. And then you're like, I didn't know she had this side. I'm like, oh yeah, it's in there. Don't worry.
Yeah, that was the
true.
whole
I mean, that would be kind of scary.
If it'll never happen to you, but it happens to Michael.
That's great.
That's another thing about the moon sign too, is a lot of people only show like the true depths of their moon sign to the people closest to them, like the people you are behind closed doors with the most. So your kids, your partner, whoever it is.
Yeah. Interesting. Wow.
And then one other thing I wrote about you, I said, you are the friend that will go there with you. There's no small talk. Like your chart is like, we're not doing small talk.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so that's like obviously not everyone that's listening is going to know me, but there is no way to say astrology is not a thing because I've never met you and you just told me all these like deep things about me. Like, yes, we will never have a small talk conversation. I'm going to be like, what happened with their mom earlier and this, like, it is not.
I really guys like try to talk to you about the weather and you're like,
why the fuck would I write my time? I want to know the depths of your soul, Katie.
there's no time for weather. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that. And then also we can talk about kids after. I wanted to get to you guys first, but I do find it interesting where we see overlapping energies in charts. So you have an Aries moon and your kids are Aries. So I do think there are definitely patterns in energy and they reflect back to us so much more than we could ever imagine.
Cool. Very cool. Okay, yeah, do Katie and then let's do kids because I want to ask you twin things. I'm so excited about that too.
Okay, so Katie, the first thing I saw immediately was your sun and moon are conjunct, which means just like right next to each other in Capricorn. So when two planets are right next to each other, it kind of just amplifies this energy. And it's important to know which planets are next to each other because that gives you what energies are amplified. So your sun is your identity and your moon is your inner world and your emotions. So those things are forever intertwined, which is probably why you have this feeling about Capricorn. Also because you have a Capricorn stellium, meaning there's lots of planets in that energy. It is so deeply ingrained in who you are, but being a Capricorn moon specifically can be challenging because Capricorn is this structured energy and feelings and emotions are not meant to be structured. So we have this interesting relationship with our emotions when we are, I would say Capricorn and Virgo are the most interesting to me because those are the most like, they have a routine, they have a plan, they know what's coming next, and your emotions needs breathing room. And sometimes you're like, you must not breathe. We don't have time for this.
Well, that's like it's like that totally makes sense because in therapy, I'm always like, let's get to like even like let's get to whatever the feeling, like whatever I have to do to like just get into it, right? Like I want to like perform in therapy. I want to like, you know what I mean? Though, like. Be efficient, right? Yes.
Oh my gosh. I was just talking to one of my Capricorn friends and she was like, I just fired my therapist because I gave her a to-do list of things I didn't appreciate and she didn't listen. So I fired her.
I mean, there we go,
like,
right?
That is so, oh God, it's so good. I love it. So
like, yeah, I want the homework, right, from the therapist. You want, to get the A. Exactly. Yeah, I totally relate to that.
Let me see what I wrote. Let's see. Identity and feelings will forever intertwined, especially with your water rising. So your water rising to me, like, is the key to, I'm just like feeling like a lightness in my chest when I say it for you. It's like your key to freedom almost. They said your head and your heart are aligned, but the Capricorn moon is the most comfy, like we talked about. You're rising. So there's a million different ways to interpret rising sign. I like to say it's who you're rising to be. It is your highest self. So you have your rising sign in Pisces and also your North Node. Have you ever heard of North Node?
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I forget about it, though. I don't remember what it means anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like a destiny point in your chart. It's kind of like this big energy that we didn't really embody in our past life, if you believe in that. And we're really wanting to focus on moving towards in this life. And your North Node is Pisces and your rising sign, which is who you're rising to be. So both of these like destiny points for you are Pisces.
Or to be sensitive and feeling and magical and calm and not try to get to the next thing.
But I said a major lesson for you is letting your walls down. Pisces is boundaryless. There is vulnerability. There is flow. And your entire chart, like, you mustn't do that.
She's like, actually, we're done with my check now.
She's like, please stop. And I'm like, this makes a lot of sense because I have no boundaries. And Katie probably got them.
And you know what? That's why we need you, Katie. Like, I have no boundaries either. And we need people like you looking at them just like, what the hell are you doing, girl?
Yes.
And listen,
Keeping us on track.
and you know, you're never going to embody this Pisces boundless energy all the time because you're not meant to, but you are meant to find pockets of it. And you're meant to, I'm just seeing you like on the weekends or on a vacation or making intentional time to just give less shits, you know?
Yeah.
Who vacation Katie is Pisces Katie. We can do that.
Yeah, we should. Yes, I love that. No, it's so true. And I think the more I am like able to be myself and like step into all of this, like it does feel like, and I feel gross saying this, but like a calling kind of to be more vulnerable and like to like that is kind of what I meant to do. So that totally resonates. Yeah.
Yes. And there was one more thing in your chart I want to talk about too. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Chiron. I know I'm going like kind of off the rails. But Chiron is called the wounded healer. So usually it's a place in your chart that you maybe had a hard time with in childhood or like just didn't feel good. There could be really deep wounds. I mean, everyone is different, but for yours, it's in the third house and it's in Gemini, which are two, like, it's basically like double Gemini, double air. So to me, I'm loving that you were doing a podcast because I don't know, and you can tell me and not tell me, but if you had wounds around like being fully seen with your voice as a child or feeling like it was okay to speak up. And I'm like, whatever you're doing right now, and this is the important part, and I have chills.
That's like creepy. I'm like,
This episode, like the things that you're saying, nothing, I don't think we'll ever mirror this. That we're just like, oh my God, you're calling out everything that we've either like talked about or said or is so real. Like, forget all the other shit. Astrology's where it's at.
yes. Sorry. Yes. Is the answer. Yes.
Yes.
This is where I got goosebumps and chills for you, is because now you're taking those wounds, whatever they were, and you're showing other people that you can rise above it. And I'm literally about to cry because you're literally expressing yourself on camera with a microphone, telling people like my voice matters. And I was just like,
I'm gonna start crying.
So am I. Oh my God.
I don't even know what's going on.
Wow.
That's amazing. That you saw that from my fucking birth chart. Like, that's
Right.
wild.
That's wild. That's really wild.
Well,
Everybody should every human on this planet needs to call you and
I know. Seriously. Oh my God. That's amazing. Thank you, Tori.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And the reason why I love making it so simple is because of this. Like, that's why I get like, sometimes I'm just like, do I need to just like delete my Instagram and delete my life like off the internet? Because everything is so intense and convoluted, and this transit and that thing, and oh my God, this transit's happening, so this is going to go crazy in your life. And I'm like, why can't we just like look at what our childhood wounds are, because that actually affects our day-to-day life, you know?
A lot.
It's profound.
Yes, it really is. Yeah, that's incredible. But speaking of Capricorn, we are running out of time.
We're getting really close. I would love,
You need the twin thing.
I know, I would love to talk about both of our kids a little bit. And then I think we'll just have to close up. Yeah, perfect. Give us a tiny taste of our kids. And my kids being twins and born 5 minutes apart. Like, are they the same? Okay, so before you even say any chart things, like personality wise of what I see, like they're very different. And I'm so interested in stuff like this, like human design, all this stuff, because generally 5 minutes tends to not change anything from what I've looked up. But they show up differently. My son seems like a really sensitive soul, and my daughter is the kindest, sweetest. Like, he fell yesterday and she was like, I got this rock for you. I make you feel better. They're 2. So you can imagine how that language was coming out. And it's the sweetest thing in the world. Like, she also is very sensitive and caring, but she's really headstrong and she knows what she wants, and she will not back down when someone like wants the toy she has or wants to do the thing that she wants to do. But they're the same, right? Technically, their charts, I think, are the same. So what does that mean?
First of all, I have crazy chills because obviously I don't know your children, but looking at their charts. So I went into the weeds and I was like, I gotta find if there are any differences. So all their placements are the same, but again, the degrees are like slightly different. And because the degrees are slightly different, there's a couple aspects that are slightly different. But when I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, there's like, so her ascendant is trying her sun and his isn't, whatever. I'm just looking and I'm like, what I'm seeing is two extremely similar energies that are going to play out differently. And it's funny because I wrote down, and this I think is just me being an intuitive person. I'm not going to give this to the birth chart. I would love to say this, but I said I kept seeing him as more reserved, but goofy and fun around people he's comfortable with. But she is showing him how to be his full self and out of his shell and confident. I feel like that's like their little mission together.
That's so spot on. He's like the funniest little guy, but he's especially like he's not if he doesn't know you.
Yes. So they have an Aries sun, they have a Gemini moon, and a Scorpio rising. And then they also have a Aries Mercury. So they do have a lot of this fire energy. But when you have a Scorpio rising, which probably will be energy that they're embodying more later in life, but you do have this like more introspective energy in your fields. But yeah, they're both very deep. I said she is deep, so is he. They have Cancer Mars. So I was telling you guys about Mars, and it's like how you get pushed to the bar or whatever, but it's how you respond emotionally or how you action to things, how you show up with action. And they have Cancer Mars. So that's extremely emotional. And they both have that. So I'm interested to see.
They are very emotional. They don't have big tantrums like any of the things that people classically talk about in these age ranges. They don't. They're like very calm. Like they're awesome kids. But when they have emotions, their emotions are strong. And maybe because I don't know anything about this stuff, but leaning into like this strong maternal instinct I have, like we can usually get through it pretty quickly because I'm not trying to do anything with it. I'm like, all right, let's tap in and I'm here and we'll talk about it. And then they're like, okay, we're good now. But their emotions are strong. I always notice that. And I'm like, oh, is it because they're due or is it because this is who they are? But it seems to be because who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all out. I'm booking keep going. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love how you said we talk through it because they're Gemini moons. So they are Gemini moons in the 7th house. 7th house is like a Libra energy. So that's double air energy with their moons. So I wrote they need to talk about their feelings through stories and examples. And with their moon being in the 7th house, I wrote they love a happy ending. Like, I feel like they're kids that, yeah, they have their big feelings and they go through the normal things that a kid goes through, but they want to like wrap it up and feel happy. They just have this like levity to them.
Yeah, they're definitely my children in that sense. Like everything's gotta have the happy end. I love that for sure. Wow.
That's really helpful.
That's so helpful. What I was going to say before you continued was like, I'm 100% ending this call and booking with you immediately. Like, I can't wait. And I kind of want to book just for myself, let alone the whole family, because there's so many nuggets of information to get from you. This is incredible.
It's really, Tori, it's amazing.
All right. Tell us about Lincoln's Cow.
Very, very quickly. Yes.
All right, let's see. Link, let's see. I just wrote, does he love hugs?
Yes.
So cute. So he has so much earth. He's extremely rooted. So much earth, even though he is a Cancer sun and a Cancer Mercury. He has a Virgo moon. He has a Taurus Mars. Like there's just a lot going on that is bringing him down and grounding him. I said sensitive boy, but deeply grounded, rooted, and needs structure. So hello, there's a reason
like your daughter,
your son also.
Yes, for sure. And I feel like I get him very well. Like, I understand him. Yeah, intuitively. Yeah.
Oh, and I wrote down, so with his Taurus Mars, I said, please don't try to surprise this kid. Like he wants to know what's going on.
Okay. That's helpful.
That is really helpful. Parents, I feel like they always be like, surprise, we're going to this place. But if he's no.
I feel like he might be like, he would either be like, what? Just like, why? Like, I don't know if he understands the practicality of surprises, So why didn't we just tell me?
It's like, I'm a packed mom. I don't know what we're going to do with this.
Yes. I know charming, sweet, friendly, can also have a serious side. And then there's things here like air and fire are the least represented in his chart. So I said for kids, talking about things, planning verbally, like always talking about your plans, movement while learning too. I find kids that either have a ton of fire or don't really have any fire. I like the idea of like hopscotch while learning the ABCs or something like that.
Cool.
Where we're connecting mind and body because he's so embodied already that might help him process things.
I love that's real. Oh my God. Amazing.
Yeah, these tips are so amazing.
Wow. I'm going to I can't wait to re-listen to this too.
Yes. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
I'll send you guys pictures of these two.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now Scout. Let's see. Sun in Pisces, Moon in Gemini, Mercury in Aries, Venus in Aries. So Aquarius, Mars. So she has a little Aquarius too. But she has a 6th house stellium, meaning her sun is in the 6th house and then there's a bunch of other planets there too. So she's a Pisces sun, but it's going to be a little bit more structured because 6th house has similar Virgo vibes. So, yeah. So
Okay.
she's very intuitive and sensitive, but she also like can get on board with the structure. I think a little bit less than you and Link. Like she's a little more go with the flow, but she enjoys it, and I think she can thrive on that. I said sensitive also, but may have an easier time expressing emotions and putting words to them eventually. So she has Moon in Gemini, but it's in the 8th house. So I feel like she might oscillate between like being very, very vocal about her feelings and then also being very internal. Like she needs time to process because 8th is Scorpio vibes. So while she is an air moon, it is a little bit more emotional and subdued and maybe even private.
Interesting. Cool. Okay.
As her mom, hopefully you get to see all of it, but just in case you note her like going a little more internal, try to use words and stories and like things like that. Because with Gemini, they need to talk it out. Yeah, and then the last thing I said, Aries, Mercury. So her mind is always going a mile a minute, which might be the connection also to the emotions. Is like sometimes you might not be ready to express them because she's still figuring out. There's so much going on in her little bit.
Yeah, that totally tracks. She I can't keep up. What?
Yeah, there's just like a lot happening in her brain at all times, and it might take her some time to process it. And lastly, for both of them, I wrote they're both, I feel like really creative and like to be hands-on and can do that stuff together.
Yay.
Yeah, and
I love
lastly
that.
for Scout, I said she's going to have her own way of doing things just based on her chart. It feels like she's her own little person.
Yes, I can totally see that. Yes, she's a lot. They're so different. But it's so fun. And it's so fun to have like a framework to like look at this through. So cool. Oh my God, Tori, I'm like, we could talk to you forever.
Keep you forever. I really wish we could, but we can't because we're all things to you.
I owe you a card.
Yeah, let's do a quick arrow poll, and then we'll talk about all the things where people can find you. And then I'm going to hang up and call you immediately. Be like, hey, let's talk.
Do you have like anything specific that you want me to ask about, or is it just kind of like
yeah, whatever?
See what guys have. We got the Page of Cups, which I love. Queen of Wands, amazing. 4 of Swords. This just feels like summer vibes.
Yeah, I love
right?
that.
I feel like it's like rest. But there's something obviously like with the Page of Cups coming in here, like intuitively, like you're thinking about revamping your offerings or something?
You know, I'm actually the 4 of Swords, you said, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I have been just beating myself to a pulp in every way possible lately. And I feel like spirit and whatever is screaming at me, like, if you don't lay down, like the image on 4 of Swords, like you're going to be in trouble. And I do feel like the message is probably rest so that you can be the Queen of Wands, you know?
Totally.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like for me intuitively, it doesn't feel like this like super, super prolonged period of rest. But yeah, you got to take that before you get started on anything else.
Yeah, don't worry. You're like the 8th person to tell me that. So maybe I'll listen.
Yeah. But maybe sometimes it's just the right person, right? Or like the right time. But yeah, I don't think it's like this like months and months, right? It's just like a little bit like taking a beat.
Well, I think it's like a month or 2 of just not like booking my calendar to the nth degree, but I'm still learning about that.
I know I see you offer tarot readings like all the time.
Yeah. So I have a 10th house sun, and 10th house has Capricorn vibes. So while I might be a chill Taurus in some ways, I'm always like, must work, must do this. And my body's like, no, must lay down.
That's amazing. I love that. Well,
Tori,
Very.
fantastic.
thank you so much. We could totally, I think we're going to have you back on it.
Oh, I think we will definitely
But-
have you back on and make you visit us just to hang out.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
this is
please.
so
I love
great.
DC.
Oh my God. Yay. Great. Come. So Tori is on Instagram. Just her website. It's TORYSJOVALL. Check her out. Book anything. Get 10% off if you come from us with a code undercoven. And we're going to book
Oh my God.
immediately.
Thank you so much.
So just like full of information.
Yes.
I love
So practical.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys. This
You are
is
wonderful.
like an honor. This is my favorite thing to talk about. I appreciate you guys so much.
You are so gifted and wonderful. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely found your wheelhouse.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
No
Thank you,
question.
guys.
Thank you, Tori.